Welcome back to High Gain Guitar Academy. I'm Neil, and today I'm going to teach you how to play in time. Now, to make something musical, you really have to have two main elements, two main ingredients. You have to be in tune, you have to have pitch, and the other thing is you have to have timing. You have to play on the beat, right? So pitch and timing, really those are the two things that you need to make something appealing musically. It's as simple as counting and strumming at the same time. We're gonna count to 4, and on every count, I'm going to strum an E chord, okay? At this point, we've learned our E chord, just an E major chord. So every time I count, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to strum this E chord, and I'm going to try and keep an even, steady pace. So follow with me, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice how I never speed up, I never slow down. It's all about keeping an even pace as I strum. So timing can be tricky. It takes practice. It's easy to rush ahead of the beat. It's easy to fall behind the beat. So practicing with a metronome is also a good idea. Now, what's a metronome? Well, a metronome is a tool that emulates a drummer perhaps, or gives you like a sense of timing by making a click. So a click is something commonly used by musicians to stay on time. Let me give you an example. Here I have a metronome app. You may also have a standalone metronome unit, but I like the app. There's plenty of free metronome apps out there. So you can set the tempo, which means the speed, in the metronome here, and I'm gonna give it a try. Notice how the metronome is making clicks, right? And these clicks are what's gonna keep us on the beat. Now, it's important to notice that the first one is a different tone than the rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's important because that 1 is always gonna let us know where to start over, right? And it helps to keep us focused and on task. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to play the metronome, and as it goes, I'm going to strum along with that E chord, okay? Here we go. The cool thing about the metronome is you can slow it down, speed it up, you can set the tempo, and again, tempo means the speed. If you're not able to keep up at a faster tempo, feel free to slow it down. If you feel like you're a little bored of the slower tempo because you're starting to get the hang of this, speed it up, challenge yourself. Now, in music, we have several different kinds of beats that we're gonna talk about, okay? There's gonna be whole beats. Now, whole is 4, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I strum a chord and let it ring out for 4 counts, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's a whole. A half would be 2, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Then there's quarter notes. Quarter notes are gonna be all 4 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it starts to get a little faster. Then we go to 8th notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? Then it goes to 16th notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then of course it gets faster and faster. You go to 32nd notes and 64th notes. And we don't have to mess with that right now because I can't count that fast out loud. But you get the idea. And this is stuff that you learn in basic music classes. And it's important to keep those basics in mind when you're playing with a metronome. So as you play with the metronome, you don't always have to just strum on the beats. We can make patterns to make it a little bit more interesting, like what you might hear in an actual song. So for an example, I'm going to play the metronome again, and I'm going to strum down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down. Okay, and the metronome is going to continue to click in quarter notes, but I'm going to play around the rhythm a little bit by adding that down, up, down. Okay, let's give it a try. Down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down. So again, it's easy to fall behind, it's easy to rush ahead. The idea is, as you're playing, you want to be able to listen to the click and match it and meet up with its timing, okay? If you rely on your own internal clock, there's nothing to tell you that you're going too fast or slow. So it's good to have an external device help you with that. Now, if you're not into the metronome or you don't have a metronome, other ways to stay on time are, like I said, count to yourself out loud. You know, that's always a good option. 1, 2, 3, 4, counting out loud. Another one is more of a silent option, just nodding your head with the beat. Sometimes that helps internally, right? Another option will be to tap your foot. Sometimes that's helpful, right? 1. Another option that may be a little tough at first, but if you can do it, it's probably the most gratifying, is actually playing along with the songs. So if I were to get on a streaming app and play one of my favorite songs and try to play along with it, not falling behind, not rushing ahead, it's a real challenge at first, but once you do it, it's really great because then you start sounding like the song. So as you're learning songs, you know, when you're learning guitar and we start learning how to play songs, trying to play along with the songs you're learning is a really great thing to do. You know, it helps with your timing and your pitch, the whole thing. Another tip I'd like to give you is something that I've been using for years that I call emphasis picking or emphasis strumming. Now, emphasis means that I put a little more power into, you know, one of these beats or one of these notes, whatever you want to call it. And if I make the first of 4 counts, for example, if I play that a little bit harder than the rest, then it's going to help to keep me on the beat every time it starts over. So here's an example. Notice how the first count was much louder, much harder, and then the rest were a bit softer. But it really helped me to stay on the beat because the first one was a little bit louder. You can do that with the metronome. You can do that while you're playing along with songs. Any of these, you know, aforementioned ways of doing it. So emphasis picking, it can work with strumming, it can work with picking. And I think after a while, once you get good at your timing, you don't have to do the emphasis picking or strumming anymore. It's just a tool to kind of get you started. But use it. If it doesn't work for you, no big deal. I'm just trying to give you different ways to learn this because, you know, that's the thing about creative things like music and art is that everybody learns it a little bit differently. So I always try to give you a few perspectives on how to digest this and process it. So hopefully one of these ways is helpful to you. This has been a very basic intro to playing on time, so hopefully it's helpful to you. Stop the video, practice it on your own, come back, watch it again, and try all the ways of practicing that I mentioned, okay? So best of luck to you. We'll see you next time.